Hey, welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 video. My name is Captain Hockey 82, and in today's video we're going to be going just over the overall world map, selecting a location and selecting a arrival airport and filling out the nav log, the runway and your approach and your departure on it. So we're going to go in just to pick a couple random airports just to go over. It works on any other aircraft and airport as well. So we're in the United States here, so we are just going to say we can left click and move your mouse around. You can scroll with the mouse wheel, you can move the whole globe around, you can use a slider here to change the time of day. You have a legends that show you that. You have your filters, you can filter whenever you want. Also explanatory. Not going to go over that very well or in detail. Also, if you already have a load, you can save your flight as it is, or you can load into a flight you have saved previously. So again, we're going to scroll in, and you could, if you wanted to, and you want to say, hey, I want to spawn in the middle of the ocean, you can set as your departure, or you can always set as your arrival. And what it's going to do, it's going to put you at a certain altitude when you go in. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to work from airport to airport. And so, to make things a little easier, we're going to start off here at Pittsburgh. So if you can do it one of two ways. You could scroll in until you see all the airports, the airport details, or if you just find it, you can click it, and it's going to give you set as departure. Now, if you want just a very quick and dirty flight, you're not really caring about making sure the details are proper, then you can just set as your departure and then go to your next airport and select arrival. And that's going to calculate a bunch of stuff for you. You can hit fly if you really just want to fly. You don't really care about anything else, just want to get in there and fly. But if you want to have a more realistic sim, this is what this video is going to cover. So if you can scroll like you said, or you can hit the zoom to details, and it's going to do that. It's going to pull you in. And as you can see, we have a couple actual players in the area flying in and around Pittsburgh right now. There's you got your working runways. You could spawn directly on a runway and just go. You don't have to have an arrival. This is a little more detailed video about how to go from one location to another location and kind of plan it out so it looks good and functional when you're trying to take off and land. So you got your actual terminal building here in Pittsburgh, and it's right as a gate. You can pick a gate. There's regular ramp parking for like your general aviation planes if you're small Cessna or something, or Beechcraft or something. But if you're in an Airbus or you're in the 747 or any of the larger airplanes that may come out in the future, you can use really select the road. It doesn't matter. But mine is the A320, so I'm going to go ahead and say I want to depart from gate 157. I'm going to select that gate. I'm going to hit set as departure. That puts it up in here and here. You can also type in, if I know the code, I can type it in, or if I know the actual airport name, I can type it in and it'll prompt it up here. I don't need to do that because we're just going to go nice, simple flight to show you everything else. Again, you don't need to select an arrival airport. You could hit fly now and get loaded into a game. No worries. But we're just going to go over here and select. That's not the one I meant to hit. Zoom out a little bit. We're going to go here to Fort Wayne. Again, you could collect it and just set arrival. Or we're going to go in here and zoom into details. And the Fort Wayne airport, it's a very small airport. It's only got 3 runways. One's really tiny. You're not going to want to land here. So again, you could go in here and select gate 4 parking and just do it right there. But when it comes to his arrivals, I'm not too worried about selecting the gate that I want to arrive to as much as I am worried about selecting a runway. So we know we're coming from the right, from the east. I want to select one of these runways right here, so it makes the approach into it a little easier to deal with when we're setting everything up in a second here. So I'm just going to go ahead and say I want to land on runway 23. So I'm going to click that little node and hit set as arrival. And then you see the blue line set. So, and right now it's just runway gate in there, and there's 2 checkpoints, which is obviously your Pittsburgh International Airport and your Fort Wayne International Airport queues. Nothing in between, because they're running on a VFR flight path, which is your direct GPS route, which is fine for your smaller aircraft, your Cessnas, your Beechcrafts, and stuff like that. When you're in the bigger Airbus or 747, and you want to be, more realistic to the sim, which is how I usually like to fly, I'm going to select this little drop-down menu right here, and I'm going to use, depending on how far I'm going, if I'm going cross country, I'll use the high altitude airways, and it's on the IFR tab, which is your instrument flight rules. VFR means your visual flight rules, which means you have to be able to see where you're going. Instrument flight rules, obviously, or not obviously for some of you, is if you're low visibility or at night and you have to rely on your instrument panel in order to fly the aircraft, which is what I like to fly when I fly the Airbus. I'll usually use the low altitude and high altitude, and all that is depending on how high your flight is going to travel. For this distance, we're going to select the low altitude airways, and I'll show you what that does. So you see it now, it's putting us waypoints to travel, and it did change the path slightly. These are known waypoints in actual air traffic patterns that we'll follow to get us to the Fort Wayne Airport. Also notice that here is changed from just showing the runway and the gate here. It's also added departure and arrivals and approach. So when I'm planning my flight, before I get to any of this stuff, I'm going to hit the little nav log icon that appears here. This is going to show us our flight path. Every little point we're going to check. And it's going to show us where we're flying. Right now it has us set to fly at 22,000 feet. And it's going to set this basically automatically. You could change the cruise altitude if you want, or you could leave it as it is. In this case, for this purpose of this video, I'm going to leave it at 22,000 feet. That's fine. It's going to see a nice small cruise time before you have to start your descent into international Fort Ashley. Click it out or click this, doesn't matter. It will get back to the road map. So again, if you don't want to really care about these, you can go ahead and fly at this point. We're going to go more in depth. So we're just going to scroll back down in here to Pittsburgh, and you see this sharp angle to go back. That's not what we want. So what we want to do is it wants us to take this and do that. We don't want to do that. We're going to go west. Why go east to do that? So we're going up here to departures. Well, first we're going to say, no, I don't want to take off from that. We're going to go that way. I want to take off from this point, probably go that way, or any one of these going that way. So let's say we want to go on 28 right. We're going to hit this drop down button, and we're going to look for 28 right. And that automatically shoots us out to take off at 28 right runway going west, right as we wanted to. So you see it's a lot easier, a lot less steep turns, more realistic of how you would want to fly. So that's all set. We are all set with our departure airport. We don't have to touch anything else unless you want to do a different gate or anything else last minute change. What we want to do is we're going to come over here to our arrival, which in this video is our Fort Wayne International. And we want to scroll down, and this angle is not going to be a very easy approach. So I do like 23 runway. So sometimes you have an option to select a different arrival. In this case, we don't have that. It's just a direct there. What we can change is the approach. You have your ILS, which is what you allow your computer system to kind of guide you in. I try to do these as much as I can. And then you have your VOR, your RNAV. So if I were to select ILS 3.2, because it's trying to put me into this one, which is fine, we'll go ahead and we can always change the arrival at any point, and it's not going to change anything. So I'm going to make 32 runway as our point of arrival. It's going to bring up to here, and we can scroll back down here. Our departure here didn't change, so we're good there. Navlog won't change on you. So we're going to go back in down and look, and it's not great, but I believe we can go in here and hit ILS, and now it brings us a straight in approach. It's going to change it a little bit, so we're coming here, and then we're going to make a little dip down to the southwest, and then come back up to the northwest. And that puts us in a nice straight-in approach on the runway, which gives everybody a best chance of landing the aircraft there gently without having to do a steep curve to get into the landing zone. Once you have all of these set up, your navlog is good, and you're happy and satisfied for how your flight is, and you are at this point. You've got all this done. You got your jet selected. You got your livery selected, your ATC options, your failures if you want that selected, all your weather is good, right? You have everything you want in there ready to go. Once you are done with that, you are ready to go. You just hit the fly and it's going to bring you into the actual aircraft. And then from there, there'll be another video that I'll go over on how to set your cockpit up once you have it selected and you're sitting at your jetway and all of that. So that is it for this video, guys. I really hope you appreciate and found this information very informative and helpful. So please make sure, if it did, leave a like down below, subscribe, hit that, make sure your bell is on so you get notified on when I upload more videos. And follow me over on Twitter at CaptainHockey82, as well as on Twitch, where I try to stream the game a little bit for you guys to see it. Leave a comment down below what else you want me to see me cover in a topic of a future video, whether it's a feature on here or if it's a flight route you want to see me fly or some kind of challenge video on here. So again, guys, I appreciate all the support, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. As always, make sure you stay safe on the airways and you stay safe in general. Take care, guys.